The rain came down in sheets, slicing through the dim glow of the city streetlights. Ben pulled his hood tighter around his face and picked up his pace. He had stayed late at work again, another boring shift at the tech support desk, and all he wanted was to get home, heat up some leftover noodles and collapse on the couch. But then he heard it. A meow. It wasn't the usual kind. It was high-pitched, desperate, almost a whimper. Ben stopped in his tracks. The sound echoed from a narrow alley up ahead, half drowned by the downpour. He stepped toward it, squinting into the shadows. There, shivering beside a dented trash can, was a tiny ball of matted fur. "Hey there, little one," Ben said, kneeling. The creature flinched but didn't run. Ben slowly reached out, letting it sniff his fingers. After a moment, it crept closer. He scooped it up carefully and tucked it under his coat. "Let's get you warm." Chapter 2. A New Friend. Ben's apartment was modest but cozy. He dried the kitten off with a towel, cooing softly as it trembled in his hands. Its eyes were huge and reflective, gleaming gold in the low light. "You're safe now," he murmured. "I'll call you Luna." He poured a saucer of milk. The kitten lapped it up voraciously, purring like a tiny engine. That night, Luna curled up at his feet, and for the first time in a long while, Ben fell asleep, smiling. Chapter 3. The Growing Bond. In the days that followed, Luna settled into Ben's life like she'd always belonged. She followed him around the apartment, perched on his keyboard during work calls, and meowed insistently when it was time to eat. Ben found himself talking to her constantly. "What do you think, Luna? Should I go for the interview tomorrow?" She blinked slowly and gave a tiny chirp. "Yeah, I didn't think so either." But Luna wasn't like other cats. She never purred unless Ben spoke to her. She made strange clicking sounds at the window, especially when birds flew by. And once, Ben swore he saw her jump from the floor to the top of the fridge in a single bound. He laughed it off. "You're just a ninja, huh?" Chapter 4. Signs and Scales. It was a Sunday when he first noticed something truly odd. While cleaning under the sofa, he found something that shimmered like oil on water. It was tiny, maybe the size of a fingernail, but not like anything he'd seen shed by a cat. It was a scale. He held it under the light. It refracted color, iridescent and hard. "Where did this come from?" he murmured. Luna, perched on the bookshelf, watched him with unblinking eyes. That night, he dreamed of dark forests and glowing eyes, of something slithering through the underbrush, whispering in a voice he didn't understand. Chapter 5. Changes. As the weeks passed, Luna changed. Her ears became longer, more pointed. Her tail, once fluffy, began to thicken. Her eyes glowed brighter in the dark. Ben tried to convince himself it was just his imagination, but the truth clawed at the edge of his mind. One night, he woke to find Luna standing on his chest, staring down at him. Her pupils were slits. Her mouth opened, not in a meow, but in a quiet hiss that ended in a clicking rattle. He jerked back. Luna leapt away and curled up on the windowsill, watching the moon. "What are you?" he whispered. Chapter 6. Research and Realization. Ben dove into old books, forums, anything he could find. He read about shapeshifters, cryptids, fey creatures, and dragons. Each clue pointed him to the same terrifying idea. Luna wasn't a cat. She was something else. He found references to mist lynxes, mythical creatures that appeared as cats, but carried ancient magic. They were guardians, watchers from another realm. Rare, dangerous when provoked, loyal when respected. His hands trembled as he read. Did I bring home a guardian or a predator? Chapter 7. A Choice of Trust. The next night, Ben confronted her. Luna sat on the windowsill, bathed in moonlight. Her form shimmered slightly like heat rising off asphalt. Her tail moved in smooth, sinuous arcs. I know you're not a cat, Ben said quietly. Luna turned to him. Her eyes met his, and for a heartbeat, he saw understanding. I don't know what you are, but I don't want to lose you. She stepped forward and for the first time nudged her head against his hand. Ben exhaled. Okay, we'll figure this out together. Chapter 8. The Hidden World. Days later, strange things began to happen. Shadows lingered where they shouldn't. Lights flickered. Ben caught glimpses of things in mirrors, other versions of Luna, more reptilian, more luminous. He met an old woman in the park who stared too long at Luna. That's not a pet, she whispered. She chose you. Ben tried to ask her what she meant, but she had already disappeared into the crowd. Chapter 9. The Visitor. One night, someone knocked. A tall man in a long coat, eyes hidden behind mirrored glasses. We need to talk about your companion, he said. Ben felt his blood go cold. Luna hissed from behind him, her form shifting subtly. She's not yours to take. She's not yours to keep, the man said. She belongs to a world you don't understand. Then explain it to me. The man paused, then turned. You'll know when the veil thins. Prepare yourself. Chapter 10. The Veil. Thins. Strange symbols began appearing on Ben's windows, traced in dew. Luna spent hours staring into reflections. The air felt heavier, as if something was pressing through the cracks of reality. And then, one night, the world changed. Ben awoke to a sky filled with unfamiliar constellations. His apartment windows opened to a forest that didn't exist on Earth. Luna stood at the threshold, her body fully transformed, graceful, serpentine, majestic. She turned back to him. You can come, her voice echoed in his mind. Ben took a step forward. Epilogue. Guardian of Realms. Ben never returned to his old life. Not completely. His apartment remained untouched, like a snapshot in time. But sometimes neighbors claimed to see a strange light glowing through the windows, and the silhouette of a man standing beside a creature that was not quite a cat. They say the man guards the passage between worlds now, watching over the veil, with a creature who once meowed in the rain and changed his life forever. Call to action. What would you do if the stray you rescued turned out to be something else entirely? Share your thoughts, theories, or your own strange pet stories in the comments. Like and subscribe if you want more tales from the edge of reality. And remember, not every purr means peace. Not every meow comes from a cat.